What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's Cody. We got a little 3-game Wnba slate for Tuesday here. 5K to first, kind of disappointing. It's a really, really good slate, in my opinion. I really was hoping to get 10K again, but let's look at my lineup for tonight. I bubbled the cash. I only made one lineup. Typically, that's what I like to do. I'm a single bullet entry guy. But I played Caitlin Clark. She was pretty popular. I wasn't expecting her to be that popular. I ended up going Sabali over Fegbenle. That was a mistake. The Fegbenle fade was deadly. She looks incredible. She has played herself into a sizable role on that team. Sabali just didn't get the run that I thought she would. They gave it to Thornton. Kelsey Mitchell was the last piece in. She had a fine game. John Quell underperformed, and I was really high on her. AT absolutely nuked. And SDS, man, she's just not been it yet. She's just really struggling. But yeah, bubbled. That sucks. Let's look at the odds for the 3 games tomorrow, and then we'll get on to pricing. Let's get over here. It kicked us out. First game, Wings at the Dream. 4.5 point spread, over under 165.5. This game will be very popular. Just so many great plays that we'll talk about shortly. Mercury at Vegas again. 15 point spread, over under 170.5. I think that's just too wide. I think Phoenix is playing pretty good basketball, and I think the Aces are letting teams play with them. Like this game, the opener against the Mercury was a whole lot closer than it should have been, and then the Aces struggled to put away the Sparks, so I think that line's way too wide. Mystics at Sparks is the last game of the night. 3.5 point spread, over under 159.5. Let's get back over here and we'll start on Dallas. Enrique, I mean, she legitimately sat for 9 seconds. She played practically the entire game. Technically, in the book, it shows 40 minutes. 28 field goals attempted. I mean, just insane usage. Let's actually look at her usage percent. I bet it's over 40. Enrique, 36.3. 36.3 usage rate. I mean, there's not much more you can ask from her. If she's going to put up 25 plus shots and play practically the entire game, you can't really do much better than her. I mean, 11K seems like a steal for the upside that she could bring. She put up 45 and 50. I think putting up 25 plus shots, she has 60-point upside if they're falling and the peripherals are there. Nat Howard's obviously out. Big T did not play well, and Trammell was quick to hook. She was quick to pull her. Kalani played really well, so that played a factor in it. That's concerning going forward. I mean, she was 11K and busted hard. 9,500 is a little bit easier to stomach, but she's always been more of a tournament play. Big upside, but a really low floor. Maddie, talk about busts. 19 minutes after she starts, they were quick to give her the hook and play fresh off the street Monique Billings. That's really concerning. Obviously, she has some upside because she's a great offensive talent. 7,500 is steep for her, though. Contrarian tournament play only. Kalani, I talked about her. 19 minutes, up from 11. She played really well. Almost had a double-double. Great point per minute off the bench. Really fine as a contrarian option in tournaments. I really don't play her unless Big T's hurt. Monique, we talked about her, played 20 minutes in her debut with the team. Isn't going to shoot the ball much. I mean, she's not very good fantasy point per minute, but 5,800 if she's going to play 20 minutes. Maybe she scores a little bit more. It is a revenge game. Take that how you will. I don't really buy into any of that, but Uzan, massive minutes again, 29 minutes. Shot attempts, 4 or 5. Got got some assists. She's fine. 5,500 seems about right for her. You're paying for the minutes pretty much. Sheldon saw her minutes tick up 17. She's fine until she really starts to click. I think she's going to be more aggressive on offense once she really gets comfortable with the team, and she'll overtake Uzan eventually. But for now, just a contrarian play. Not much interest in. Suarez played 32 minutes, only attempted one field goal, which was really surprising. 5 stocks. She's massive. She's 6'6". Has blocking still upside. Big rebounder. Would love to see her put some more shots up. If she puts some more shots up, this price tag, I mean, even if she doesn't, this price tag, she's one of the best values on the slate. She's going to net 30-plus minutes because she's starting, and she's a plus defender. They're thin on bigs. I really like her. One of my favorite plays on the slate. Honestly, probably my favorite play on the slate, point per dollar wise. Obviously, I love Enrique, but 11K, I mean, you got to weigh the options. Suarez will be in, if I just do one lineup, she'll absolutely be in it. On the Atlanta side, Ryan Howard, I mean, massive minutes. Almost played the entire game against Phoenix. She played 39 and a half minutes, I'm pretty sure. Or just under, or else it would have ticked it up to 40. If she's going to play minutes like that in a game that should be back and forth, her and Enrique could throw haymakers at each other, and she has slate-breaking upside. Love her. 41 and 38 fantasy points. Rebounds have been there. Her peripherals have been there. I'm a fan. I don't mind the price tag. And if you want to game stack this game, I think it will be pretty popular. People doing that. It's the first game, and then there's a little delay before the last 2 tip. So I think this game will be really popular, but there is ways to get different. Charles had some foul trouble, lost out on a few minutes. Really rough game after a big blow-up game. Interested to see how her and Big T tangle. That could be fun. Fine, contrarian spend up. Not anybody I'm rushing to get in. Shy Parker, the minutes are what worries me. If she's only going to play 24 minutes a night, that really is a concern for me, because 9,100, I mean, she was 99, then 95, 9,100. We're getting to the sweet spot of her price, but she really popped when Charles was off the floor. And granted, it was against Phoenix, and bigs will absolutely bully ball Phoenix all year. Price is a little steep for me in a matchup like this if she's only going to play 24 minutes. But, I mean, she's fine. Not someone I'd completely X out, but not someone I'm going to rush to play. She's fine as the last piece in. Same with Gray. She's going to play low 30s minutes. She's going to put up 10 to 14 shots a night. If she pitches in peripherals and stock upside, she could put up a 40-burger. But she also has 15 to 25 point floor. For that price, I just don't think she's a must on a slate like this. Haley Jones really bombed after a good opener. She's going to split minutes with Dangerfield, and Dangerfield's actually just outplayed her so far. So if she struggles, I could see him just going to Dangerfield. Not much interest in her at 5,700. The prices went up where she's just out of play for me. No real interest in Coffee, just no upside. Dangerfield mentioned her, 16 and 20 minutes. She's fine at 4,900, is playing really well on the new team. Another revenge spot if you buy into that. No interest in Hillman Powers. I mean, here. Moving on to the next game, we got Phoenix and Las Vegas. Starting on the Phoenix side, Natasha Cloud being the highest price Mercury is kind of surprising. Her ceiling is probably mid-30s to 40, but this is her floor. I mean, low 20s fantasy points. Some nights she's just not going to shoot very much. Opening night, 15 shot attempts. This last game, 6 shot attempts. That's really concerning. She's really good at getting the peripherals. Some nights she doesn't get them, and that's what's really going to sink her. She's the perfect tournament play if you're feeling good about her. Kalia Copper, absolute nuke last game at 8,800, and they drop her to 8,500. She's going to play low 30s minutes and is going to be arguably the number one on offense, their main vocal point. I know DT's still on the floor and she's going to get her shots, but Copper's their best player in my opinion, and if her shot's falling and she gets into her bag, this is her upside, 50 points. Don't mind her at all at her price. DT at 8,400. If she's going to play 28, 32 minutes, if the shot's falling, she has big upside. Last game, the shot wasn't falling, but she did get some peripheral stats. She probably has some 40 burgers left in her if everything breaks her way. She also has a really, really low floor. Some nights she just doesn't want to get the peripherals, and she just lays around and just jacks up threes all night, but makes for a great tournament play. She's always going to be low owned. This game is going to be fast paced, just the way the aces roll. Mac, the surprise that no one saw coming. She looks like prime Shaq out there. Only playing 20 minutes a night. They always close small. They don't want to play a big unless it's Brittany Griner, and BG's out. In 20 minutes, she's absolutely smashing. 25 fantasy points, 28.75. Absolutely stuffing the stat sheet. Both games, stock upside, peripheral upside. If you think that continues, you can play her. The price is just too steep for me for someone that's playing 20 minutes a night. One of these slates, she's going to struggle and maybe only play 18 minutes and absolutely kill everyone that plays her. I hope her ownership is still pretty high and we get a huge edge on the field. Rebecca Allen saw her minutes tick down. She shot 1 of 6. This is really her ceiling, 32. Her floor is about 10. I mean, she's fine. I'm not real crazy about her. No interest in Sutton, just not needed. I've mentioned it before. All the other guards, I just don't see a reason to be playing her. Sophie's playing 25 minutes off the bench. Really, really good game this past game. But 5 steals, that's unsustainable. She's their 3-and-D. I'm fine playing her at 5,900. The price is low enough that you can consider. No interest in Harrington, Dixon, or Birch. Moving on to the Aces side, Asia Wilson is 13,200. Holy hell. That's the most expensive player I can remember. I don't think I've ever seen anyone over 13K. I might be wrong. Maybe last year we had Asia and Stewie over 13K, 1 or 2 slates. Somebody can let me know, but maybe. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of salary. If you factor in, so far this season, she's a 1.6 fantasy point per minute player. If you factor that, like say she gets 1.6 fantasy points for 33 minutes. Let's say she plays 33 minutes. She's going to put up close to 50 fantasy points. That's not even going to 4x her salary. And that's what you're really hoping for. I would never advise people to just X her out. Obviously, if you can afford her, if you find a lineup that affords her, she's going to be low owned because of how expensive she is. Obviously, look at what she did to Phoenix opening night. 62.75 fantasy points. Massive, massive ceiling. 47 on a terrible... She started so bad against the Sparks. I think she was 1 of 8 at one point and then really just turned it around. Massive upside. But, I mean, the price limits some of that upside. I mean, that's taking a lot of salary off the table. Jackie Young, 10.9K. She's playing practically the entire game, 36 minutes and 39 minutes. She's stuffing the stat sheet. She has really, really elevated her game with Chelsea Gray on the sidelines. Love her. Back-to-back 50 burgers. She's probably my favorite Aces play, just with the minutes that she's playing and everything that she's doing. If the shot's not falling, she can contribute elsewhere, whereas Kelsey Plum has had 32 and 32 both games. Decent shooting night, bad shooting night. The peripherals, the assists are there, but nothing else is there. She's not a rebounder like Jackie Young. She's not a stock upside like Jackie Young. She got 3 steals last game, but that's an outlier. Obviously, great tournament play. People are going to play Jackie Young over her. So there's merit to playing her, but if you have the salary, obviously I would play Young over Plum. But Plum, 38 minutes both games. She's going to play practically the entire game as well. Clark, 6,900 is fine. She's going to play 27 to 33, 34 minutes a night. Has been okay. At 6,900, you could do worse. She's a fine play. You know her minutes are secure. She's just not asked to do much on offense. Gustafson, 15 minutes a night. Really can't recommend her at 5,200. Kia Stokes just doesn't do anything when she's on the floor. She's just not asked to do anything. 4,700. She's starting to get to the point where on smaller slates, she might be someone to consider because you need that cheap value that gets minutes. But on a 3-game slate with value everywhere, I'm not really interested in her. Kate Martin, out of nowhere. DNP in the opener, plays 26 minutes last game. Has a pretty good game. She got the peripherals. She got one amazing block. The picture was amazing of Plum in the background. She's a great value. I expect her. She got all of the run for the guards. If you look, you got Sydney Colson played 1 minute. She was the only guard to come off the bench. Now, I understand, Plum's not really ever going to come out of the game. Jackie Young's not really ever going to come out of the game. She's going to play when Alicia Clark needs a breather. And they closed with her. They brought Stokes in with 45 seconds to go. She played the entire fourth. Over 9 minutes. That is really impressive and something we can't really discount. If she's gonna get run, I understand it was probably because she was playing well, but they're playing her over Bell, over Colson, over all the vets on this team. She's another value that I have no issue playing. Everyone else down here, Fair hasn't played yet. Cannon hasn't played yet. No interest in Colson. I think Bell is actually out. They've already announced it earlier. I think she's either out or doubtful. Wasn't playing her anyway. But moving on to the last game of the night, Washington at LA. On the Washington side, Sykes has been ruled out. Atkins, 7 of 16 shooting. She's going to play low 30s minutes. Big upside scoring if the ball's dropping. Great defender. She's fine at 8,600. I don't mind her as a contrarian play. Austin sat the last game for injury management or rest, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, if she still has a minutes limit, 8,100 is kind of steep. Probably not much interest in her there, but if for some reason the minutes limit is lifted, I love this matchup for her. I think she could have a really good game. But like I said, if the minutes limit is still intact, if we hear wind that it's not going to be, maybe some interest, but I would expect her to still be on the 22, 24 minute plan, and 8,100 is just a little too steep on a slate like this. Carly Samuelson, back-to-back games where she hasn't been bad. So take that as you will. If you want to pay 6,800 for her because they're down Brittany Sykes and someone has to shoot the ball, and she's been pretty good shooting the three. Be my guest. I don't know if I'll be playing her, but if you want to, you can. Me, Shines Allen, no interest, just has not looked good this season. Aaliyah Edwards had a fantastic game. She got the start against Seattle with Austin Reston. Played 25 minutes, 9 points, 11 boards. Stock upside, the 5 fouls. She does have some foul concerns, but she's not going to start, so obviously 6,400 is just too expensive for a bench piece. Dolson, 6,300. Don't mind her. Her minutes are secure. She's going to play high 20s minutes typically. If the shot's falling, she's going to get you some rebounds. She has low 20 ceiling. Not anything crazy, but she's consistent. She's a great cash game play. Van Loo's going to get the start again, I would imagine. High 20s minutes is my projection on her. Really, really struggled with foul issues this last game. Really pulled her back. I'm expecting more of a mid-20s fantasy point game. 4,600, you could do a lot worse. Love her as a value play as well. Everyone else down here, Dee got extended a little bit, played 10 minutes, 10 fantasy points. Not much for me. Walker Kimbrough, 21 minutes, got 3 steals and a block. Shot 5 of 7. She's pretty scoring dependent, and then she got a whole bunch of stocks. Whatever. If you want to pay $4,400 for her, be my guest. I would rather pay $4,600 for Van Loo or $4,000 for Kate Martin or $4,500 for Suarez. No interest in Ingsler or Melbourne. On the Spark side, let's talk about Dearica Hamby. She has been electric. I thought the preseason usage was a little high, and I thought it would come down some. It's not. It is exactly what it was in the preseason. 38 minutes and 33 minutes. I expect anywhere from 34 to 38, depending on the game. Massive, massive upside shooting the ball. 20 points, 29 points. Great rebounder. 10-1 seems like too cheap. She seems too cheap for the usage that she has in this offense. I like me some Dearica Hamby. Clarendon, absolutely no interest. I told everyone after this 11, 10, and 10 triple-double on opening night, and she went for 48 fantasy points. That is going to be her biggest fantasy night of the entire season. She just does not shoot the ball much, and she didn't do anything and put up 11 fantasy points. 8,300, I will have 0. If I was playing 80 lineups, I would have 0. I just cannot pay that price for her. 8K for Cameron Brink. If she stays out of foul trouble, she is going to pop because she has massive block upside. Massive. She's one of the best shot blockers in the game. She just cannot keep from fouling people. She shot 1 of 7. Also, not ideal. Upside is there if she can stay out of foul trouble. This is a matchup where she might be able to, but maybe we need to make her prove it before we play her. Obviously, really like her ceiling as a player later on once she learns that she can't just try and swat everyone's shot that comes into the paint. Lexi Brown, pretty score independent. I really can't fault anyone that wants to play her. The price is fine. She's going to play low 30s minutes. If you want to play her, fine. She's a contrarian tournament play. Kia Nurse playing 32 minutes a night. Went from 16 field goals attempted to 8. I think if she's knocking her threes down, she could have a good night at that price. If she's not, she's probably not going to score much. Rakia Jackson saw a little bit of a minutes upgrade in Game 2. I think over the season she's going to start taking on more of a role. I eventually expect her to take over the starting job from Nurse. She has a lot of upside later on. Right now, coming off the bench, probably just a pass for me. No real interest in anyone else here. McDonald's just not playing any minutes. Zia Cook, she played 14 minutes this last game. She can get hot and score, but I can't recommend her because the minutes aren't secure, and there's quality value where the minutes are secure. I just can't recommend playing her. But hope you guys enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like. It really helps out the channel grow. I really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. We just went over 100 subscribers. I really appreciate all you guys that tune in and watch every day. Ring the notification bell so you can catch every video every day. And we'll see you guys on the next one.